This is 147. We're back. It's the UK Championships, Dan. That's why we're back. And I've been led to believe that you've actually done some prep for the show.
I've done some prep for this snooker podcast because I'm snooker loopy. Into snooker.
Are you going full bullseye mode then?
That was very Peter
Pan.
One. Well, but he's back, isn't he? He's on tour. Nearly crashed the internet.
Yeah. Speaking of crashing the internet, is your download stopped now so we can actually record something?
It stopped. We can record, baby. Okay, so it's the UK Championships, Luke, right?
That's right.
The hot potato back to you.
Just before we get to that, am I okay to have a little sideways look at the rest of the snooker content world? Because someone else has chucked their name into the ring. One, Stephen Hendry.
Yeah, that little fish has swum into our pond. And let me tell you, listeners, watchers, viewers, hungry.
Yeah. So he's got his own YouTube channel, and it's called Stephen Hendry's Q Tips. Do you get it? Like, Q. Very, very clever. No way he came up with that.
No.
And first episode was with Mark Williams. So he went down to, scummy Wales. No, he went down to Wales.
Shagged a couple of sheep and came home again.
And he went into the snooker hall and he played Mark Williams. And I've always known Mark Williams is quite, relaxed, chilled. Mm-hmm. Doesn't have that much drive, but it really struck me just how nonchalant he is about snooker.
Oh, incredibly nonchalant.
Like he was telling this story about how he went to Hong Kong, flew out there for the day, pocketed 20k and came back and doesn't care. He said he's all for the money, doesn't care. He lost to Robertson, whatever. Bye-bye.
20k. And they talked, didn't they, about how if Hendry had lost to somebody back in the day, he wouldn't speak to them for a month and be really, not horrible, but just really bitter and focused on the defeat. And Mark Williams is like, yeah, whatever. He just, I don't know where he's from Ireland.
Oh, go on.
He just didn't care though, did he? He just said whatever, it's a game at the end of the day.
I almost didn't believe him, but he kept reiterating it. And it said took Henry about 20 years to believe this, but apparently Williams does not remotely care as soon as he finishes a game. Like that.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's true. Henry said at one point, he said, well, do you think if you weren't like that, you'd have won more titles? And obviously the answer is yes. Of course it is. You need to have that sort of...
But then don't you think that sort of smacks as well of why he suddenly has had a resurgence? He's obviously a very naturally gifted player. And then you don't care. And then he said he got in with a coach and sort of worked on his game a little bit more. Yeah. Coach Carter. Samuel L. Jackson.
So, that's enough on Henry. If he starts
can I just
does he get close to our numbers?
I have something on that because I wanted to a little bit of a discussion point.
Woo, woo, woo. Dan has done some prep.
So I want to talk to you a bit later about the Sean Murphy, Ronnie O'Sullivan tat that they have been eating. But in an article I read about it, Ronnie said, and this is a quote, "Some guys are just happy to be here and have a laugh and a joke. Some guys just have pure intense desire. They just love the challenge and the competition."
Yes.
And it's something that Mark Williams mentioned in that interview was how much snooker's changed and how the dressing room, or not the dressing rooms, the green rooms or the whatever they are called, are really quite lifeless now.
Yeah, soulless.
Whereas back in the day they seemed to be a bit of a hub. And I just wonder, I wonder if it's perhaps just a change in generation and a change in time or whatever. Jesus has decided to glare on me. Sorry about that.
He's shining down, Dan. It's showing you this is what you should be doing.
Absolutely.
You made for rambling on for 4 minutes about one quote from Robbie.
But do you know, I think it's just interesting how they both seem to hold this view that back in the day there was a more intense performance from the players and their fun was sort of left at the door but had very much contained, whereas now it seems like it's a more jovial, more relaxed atmosphere, which is probably better for the snooker environment, but less competitive. And that's why these great players have stayed at the top of their game for so long, because there isn't that focus, that attention, that attention to detail, that drive that perhaps predecessors had.
Sounding a bit Tory.
Austerity.
No, I think that's interesting, isn't it? I guess it falls into line with throughout the decades of most sport, this commercialization of sport where the main revenue was the job. the job of the sport. Now for players, it's it's these commercial deals that they sign, it's the stuff around the sport, it's the media obligations, all that stuff. So it sort of takes your attention off it, and you've also got to be a likable enough character and care about your persona to get that sort of work as well. So yeah,
well, that's very true. Ronnie seems to now be doubling down more and more on not being a likable character. He's just his own character. He said, "I don't care." Yeah. But he's made enough money that it doesn't really matter about those media deals, etc. So yeah, nice.
Right, Dan, let's get to the world champs. So
let's get to it. Yesterday saw what, Luke?
Well, I thought we could actually rattle off, because we're at the quarterfinal stage now, time we've been recorded. So I thought we could rattle off the first couple of rounds, just pick out some big losses, and we'll sort of look at quarterfinals and maybe do some predictions. But Dan,
do you not need to do a roundup from yesterday?
We usually
should.
We're going to work our way through, Dan. We're going to work our way through it. But
are we?
But we're usually there. We're not there this year. Can you explain why?
We're not. Life has taken us in different directions. Luke's putting down roots. I'm getting on the road. That's right. Luke's bought a house and I've passed my driving test.
That's right.
Cards can be sent to...
Sorry.
My
address.
Church.
Oh, very good. So let's kick off with the first round then.
Yes.
I only want to touch on exits here. So Jimmy White, once again, world number 89. He got into the draw, which is quite impressive. But yeah, not Jimmy White powder, as I call him.
Yeah, you do. Do you reckon Jimmy White sort of bribed somebody back in the late 90s and has just got a permanent seat?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It's his seat, and they just
it happens to be the one next to the table.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be quite interesting just to rattle off a few ones from the first round that were caught right. Obviously, I couldn't help but laugh my head off that Mark Selby left. He's
suggested from Leicester.
Laughing to the bank.
He's a cunt at the front of the pack.
That is definitely too. We haven't addressed where the line is. That is the line. We can't be throwing that word out here. It's a snooker podcast.
What, pack.
Yes. How dare you? Okay, Dan. Actually, I don't think it's a bit unfair to sort of round off this game because you don't watch any of the snooker. So I'm going to let you talk about some of the games you've seen, some interesting things.
Okay. Well, obviously, yesterday saw. Desperate to talk about yesterday. That's what my notes are.
Talk about yesterday.
Sean
Yesterday
Murphy
was the last
beat
16.
Judd Trump. It was. Yesterday saw Sean Murphy beat Judd Trump, even though Sean Murphy had chronic neck pain. Too much gushing down on the old ham pasties, eh?
So I'm glad you touched this. Did you watch the game?
No.
Nod your head. Just nod your head.
Yes.
Really good game.
Can you just change the audio on that?
Really good game. And Murphy, I watched Murphy's first game. I'm a big Murphy fan.
Yeah.
You know I'm a big Murphy fan. Always have been.
You've got to be if you're a Murphy fan.
And Murphy says something quite interesting after the game.
Started dropping off him.
It was uncharacteristic, quite a cagey game. And he said, which is quite interesting, he said, now that we've got to the stage where players are so automatic when amongst the balls at break building, those nuances of the game, the safety play, have become so much more important. And I quite like that. And it led to quite an interesting cage game, which I like more and more now. As I get older, I want to see these sort of tighter contests, squeaky bum time sort of thing. It's like when we were watching, do you remember the World Champs a few years ago when we watched McGill versus Karen Wilson, and no one could pot a ball? Like, it was the best frame of snooker I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I want more of that. I want more torture.
Yeah.
Speaking of neck pain, do you know about John Virgo's neck injury?
No, tell me.
So apparently it ended his snooker career, but it happened 4 years after he retired, so I'm not sure about that. He was doing panto and he fell off stage, and a bunch of men fell on top of him, and he's got chronic neck pain and he can't play snooker again. Because I saw someone said online, someone made a joke about, oh, that was it, Mark Allen. Did you see this?
And he has furiously denied the rumours of being in a gay orgy.
What?
I was in panto and a load of men fell on top of me, and now I can't play snooker.
So, no, did you see Mark Allen? Mark Allen said,
Can't
"Oh yeah,
it.
that neck pain because you've been carrying that chip on your shoulder for the last 10 years. Loved it. Great dig. Yes, he did. Great. He's having a laugh. He's having a laugh." And someone in the comments went, "You shouldn't joke about neck pain. John Virgo's career got ended." And someone went, "It was in bloody panto." I live.
Do you reckon that person who put panto, John, no, it was actually John Virgo? He does all his own heckles.
Yes. Well, the reason I want to talk about Murphy is he started amazing. He has got the injury. He's won two final frame deciders. He looks exceptional.
Yeah, and he came back with 2 centuries, didn't he? To beat.
He looks great. Like his break building has always been amazing. But I mean, I know I've always had a soft spot for him. You know, that's a big soft man. But do you know he's a Triple Crown winner? There's only 11. He's only 11 Triple Crown winners. He's one of 11. I mean, I don't think anyone really puts him in that category. Everyone thinks he's like, a top 10 to top 8 player in the world. And when he gets hot, he can win tournaments. But he's a Triple Crown winner.
Can you name all 11?
I can name the ones playing now.
Yeah.
Ronnie, Higgins, Robertson, Selby, Trump, Murphy, Williams, Hendry, Alex Higgins, Stephen Davis. Oh, crap. He's the last one. I don't know the last one. Oh, no, I don't think it will be Taylor. I don't think it will be Taylor. Who's the last one? Oh, I'm missing someone, obvious, aren't I? Anyway, you sure you counted
Jimmy
right?
White.
It might be Jimmy White. Oh, no, you never won a world championship. We'll talk about Jimmy White never won a world championship.
Idiot.
So, Murphy was quite interesting. Actually, leads me on to something else. Whilst Murphy was playing, whilst I was watching him against Gilbert, Stephen Hendry did his unofficial. We need to steal content from him.
Q-tips.
You know, he's the content maker. He's an influencer in snooker. He did hit Q-tips. He did his top 3 rest players.
Oh, best of the rest.
Actually, I remember this wasn't in the Murphy game. This was in a different game, but I'll tell you who it is because they're in the list.
Best of the rest.
So he put Murphy top. That's already known. Everyone says Murphy's amazing. You know,
he is. He's got the cushioning on his tummy.
He's got perfect textbook
like being in a waterbed.
He put Ronnie second. He said you don't see it because Ronnie plays left-handed a lot, doesn't he? You don't see it when he's on the rest. He's automatic.
The thing with Ronnie is he's just good. He's a goat.
Yes. If you had top 3 of anything to do with snooker characteristics, he'd have a fighting chance of winning every single one of them. Yeah.
Happiest players, you wouldn't put him actually.
You'd say the goat, not a goat, because then it's a bit blurred if you're actually talking about the animal. And finally, Karen, keep your chin at Wilson. He put as 3.
I really enjoyed playing the game.
No, I was talking more about his. I was talking more about his lack of strong chin.
Yeah. Hello. It's like Eel, isn't he, of the snooker world? God, that's it.
He's not bad.
Rabbit is Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Did you watch any?
Hon Jiggins is I don't know, Piglet.
With a big pot of honey or something. Pooh? Why not Winnie the Pooh?
He probably is.
No, Piglet will be Selby. Right. Speaking of us slandering Selby, who do you think we could actually get on the podcast if we went to them and we said, "Listen, we do snooker podcast. Come on, talk a little bit about your career, a bit about the landscape at the moment." Who could we
looking through the top 100 players, didn't know a lot of them, not going to lie. So I went with a slightly different take on the angle. I think, how would we get these 3 players on? Okay.
Oh, I like it. Not what I asked.
So John Virgo, I think we'd reach out to him on banter. We'd appeal like, come on, it'd be a laugh.
Sorry, I thought that was an app then. When you went on banter, I was like, this is an app for chatting with old retired snooker players that've got chronic neck injuries.
Sorry, just cut that out and we'll write that down. Just give me a pen.
How would you get Virgo? Low with a pasty.
Yeah, a bit of banter. We'd reach out. Come on, mate. Just do it for the bounce. Have a laugh. We're really big snooker plans. We love you. He'd be like, "Hey, all right, boys, come on."
We love you. We went too far then.
Yeah, we're a bit weird. Jimmy White. I felt he was on the level of reaching it, but he'd just come on in sort of a sad way. It actually quite sort of pitiful and just sort of like, "Oh, hi, Jimmy." And we'd just forever be tiptoeing around. Yeah, exactly. We'd be ever tiptoeing around.
Speaking of getting wired. Sorry. Yeah. Speaking of getting wired, have you seen this video that came out yesterday?
Don't know what the video is. You haven't told me anything about it.
Correct. Chris Eubank.
Oh, God.
Senior.
Yeah.
Off his absolute face, like on something, coming into like this weird, stuffy ballroom, like a bunch of people, obviously like a dinner with.
And he's a weird into his dancing.
And he's like, he looks mental. I mean, apparently
link it in the bio.
Some serious personal. I mean, something's going on with personal life, so you shouldn't laugh at it, but it's not laugh at. It's like car crash TV, you know.
So yeah. Anyway,
Jimmy White car crashes on TV.
With Jimmy White, we'd appeal to on a sort of sad nature. We sort of like, come on, you know, get your profile up a bit. You fucking Sad.
Come on, keep it
Anyway.
moving. Sticking me
Martin
now.
Gould. How would we get Martin Gould on? The way would be he would come on, but he'd be very confused because we'd have tricked him into thinking he was getting involved in a Malaysian betting ring. Because out of all of them, he looks like the guy who would secretly be supported by the Malaysians.
So we saw now weirdly, I had Gold on my list, which is mental.
There you go.
Because I just saw him when we went to watch him at the UK Champs when he lost to David Grace, another person on my list.
Woo, woo, woo.
He was chain smoking outside, and I thought he's obviously a deeply unhappy man. And I thought this is before the game. I don't think he was nervous. Like,
No.
He's just that way
Drowning his
inclined.
sorrows.
There was a bit of tobacco. And I thought he'd come on. Also, Tom Ford. I thought might come on now.
Yes.
Now, Tom Ford, world number, I don't know, something like
10.
30 or 32. Oh, so right on the cusp. Right on that cusp.
On the cusp.
Now, he's currently in the quarterfinals, right? So he beat Higgins, Hon.
He is.
Hon Higgins. He beat Luca Brissell. And now he's up against Perry. Watched Perry versus Bingham last night. Got more on that in a second. But Tom Ford, what a talented man. Fashion designer. Director of Nocturnal Animals. And now a snooker player. Triple threat.
He gets around.
Man of many talents. Just jumping back on Bingham and Perry. That's who played last night. Another
Is that why Bingham lost? Because you jumped on him.
Another stat that surprised me. I know Bingham's a big break builder, but
yeah,
do you know he's fourth on the all-time list for most 147s?
Is he? Who's top?
Yeah. The main three, so Ronnie, Higgins, and Henry. And then Bingham's fourth. Oh, that's a swipe at Steve Davis.
That's another. That's another.
Steve. I haven't seen any of Steve. Have you seen any of Steve on the coverage?
Davis.
Yeah.
No, I haven't actually. Where's he gone?
He's absolutely.
Has he gone back in the jungle?
He is crackers, isn't he? He's back in the jungle, scouting out fucking kangaroo tackle.
Hey, Steve, do you want to go back and watch the snooker, mate? No, I want to go and hunt wildebeest. You're in the wrong continent,
Eliza! Nigel Thornbury.
Throwback. So, yes, you touched on it there. The quarterfinals, obviously, they start today.
Should I run through them and you're going to give you a prediction?
I was going to run through them and you can give me your prediction.
Even better.
Okay, so as you mentioned, Joe Perry versus Tom Ford. Who do you think?
I've always liked Perry.
Yeah.
He looked good against Bingham. Looked really good against Bingham, actually. Like he was pretty much one visit. Tom Ford, I haven't seen him in his last two bouts, but in bouts, fighting, get the gloves off, taking on Higgins and Brissell.
Okay.
I'll go Perry. I'll go Perry there.
Perry.
Either way, one of them can get into the semi-final of a World Champs. I know Perry was in the semi-finals of the Triple Crown. Sorry, I know Perry was in the World Finals of a World Champs years and years ago. I'm not sure if he's returned since the World Champs about 10 years ago.
Okay, made a note of that prediction. We'll see if it comes true next time.
Who are you having? Who are you choosing?
Well, I'll go opposite you.
Yeah,
yeah. So I've gone Tom Ford. Now, Ding Junhui versus Ronnie.
Yeah, Ronnie just looks ridiculous. Did you see him against Ye Long?
Oh, yes, but tell me more.
It was a whitewash. It was 6-0. Just put him out there. And then
I'm also going to...
It was incredible.
I'm going to go with
Ronnie.
Ronnie.
You pick opposite. Because... You pick opposite. That's how it works.
No, all right, I'll put Ding Junhui.
It's fair. Things look good. Things look really good.
Okay.
Very good. Knocked out
Sam
Hawkins.
Craigie versus Mark Allen, also known as the...
Wonga.
No, Guns Akimbo.
So, I don't know much about Sam Craigie, I would admit.
No. Weird surname.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Welsh.
Craigie.
Scottish, apparently.
I just can't nail on Wales. Yeah, of all the Celtics.
And who's he against? Mark Allen. Did you catch Mark Allen in the commentary booth this week?
I did, but tell me more.
I didn't, so you tell me. Actually.
Oh, he was in there on a seat.
No, he's in there
talking.
He's funny on Twitter. He's very outspoken.
Very.
And they put him with steady hand Virgo.
They're all getting a bit chippy. Do you know what I mean?
I like that though. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, you're a snooker player. Settle down, play snooker.
But now listen. I watched Mark Allen versus Karen Wilson, a rematch of the 2018 Masters final, which Allen won. Allen won again here, but it was awful. Both players were really bad. After the mid-session interval, Mark Allen looked a bit better, pulled ahead away and won, but he didn't look good. Like he didn't play well. Obviously,
Okay.
you can take that two ways. You can say, well, he's not really in form, or you can say he's winning matches when he's not playing well, which is obviously a very good thing.
Yeah,
But
once he gets into the groove.
experience at this stage, I mean, he'll be kicking himself if he can't beat Sam Craig in the quarterfinals of a.
But great opportunity for Sam Craigie.
Hell of an opportunity, and he could soar up the rankings.
Yeah.
He's
So who are you going with? Mark Allen?
Yeah, of course.
Just on experience?
Yeah, definitely. And then the next one is probably the most interesting.
Jack Likowski versus Sean Murphy. Now, Jack Likowski, big fan of Judd Trump, little bum chums.
Nate.
Yeah. Fart in each other's faces. Heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
True.
I don't think there's any need for how lewd this is getting now.
Sorry.
It's not like you absolute swipe at Zelby. We've mentioned some genitalia. Yeah, so
just bleep it.
Wazowski's pretty good, and he's always one. He's not gonna. You can't bat him away. He's always gonna be in there. You know what I mean?
Dogged.
Rummaging along. But Murphy's so good. Now, if Murphy's neck injury persists,
chronic neck pain. It's chronic.
I hope they've got Virgo commentating on that, and I want to hear a bit about Virgo's.
He won't shut him up.
War story, PCSD.
Have I told you about my time with chronic neck pain?
Oh, the commentary's been good though. The commentary's been so much, especially much better than frigging Phil Yates. My goodness, appalling. Yeah, we're going for Murphy. That's a tight one. As Murphy said before. Getting through a doorway.
Just getting lewd. Not necessarily.
I said getting through a doorway.
Oh, okay.
Right, Dan, before we move on, it's time for the nickname game. We've got to get out there now. So, this one is on David Gilbert. I watched David Gilbert versus Sean Murphy in the first round. Great game. Really good game. But what is his nickname? Now, one of these is actually his nickname. Three made up. Here we go. The Mad Cobbler.
Okay.
Angry Farmer.
Yeah.
Horny Baker. Livid Rent Boy. One of them is true.
Right. Livid Rent Boy is straight from the mind of you.
Is it? Mad Cobbler, Angry Farmer, Horny Baker, Livid Red Boy. Red Boy.
So I'm discounting Rent Boy because that's straight out of your mind.
Wrong.
I think.
got it on the back of his shirt.
I think you've chosen Cobbler because of me and my shoes. So I'm going to discount that. I'm going to go with Angry Farmer.
So you don't think it's the Horny Baker? Correct. It's the Angry Farmer. But also, how mental a nickname is that?
Yeah, it is mental.
Angry Farmer for David Gilbert.
So I've also got a game straight back at you. Similar vibes. It's called Q, Hugh, or New.
Explain.
That's H-U-E. Hugh.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you 6.
Is one of them
phrases.
Welsh?
No, 6 phrases. Yeah. And I want you to nail down. So 2 of them are actual snooker cues, variants.
Sorry.
Okay.
2 of these things are snooker cues.
Yeah.
Right.
2 of them are colours from the Dulux Colour Chart 2022. And 2 of them I've made up.
Okay, that's very good. I mean, you could have easily just had 3 and kept it much easier, but okay. Could have each, but fine. Doubling down.
You double down. So, here we go.
Yeah.
Devil Fire.
Devil Fire.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Honey Beam.
Oh, that's a good one. If that's not a cue, you've done very well there, sir.
Maroon Cream. Sapphire.
Oh, you've kept them all sort of red, sort of deep autumny colours, haven't you? Quite clever.
Monarch. Conquer. Power Shot.
Oh my god!
You want them again?
Monarch and Conquer. Let me just talk. I'm trying to eliminate some.
Okay.
Monarch and Conquer. God, they should be snooker cues. Oh my goodness, they should be. Conquer has to be.
I'm just gonna say to you, actually, Conquer is spelled Conker.
Yeah, not like Conquer the Planet, like a Conquer from Autumn. Yeah. Sapphire. I mean, sapphire is a colour, but it also could be a snooker cue because you wouldn't have made that up. You'd have done something much more extravagant knowing you. The first one's probably you. Right, read them one more time and I'll rattle them off.
Okay. Devil Fire.
I'm gonna give my answers, but don't tell me until the end.
Yeah.
Devil Fire is you. You made that up.
Honey Beam.
Oh no, I think you made that one up. You made Honey Beam up. Devil Fire is a colour. Switch them.
Okay. Maroon Cream.
Leave that one. I don't know about that one yet.
Okay. Sapphire.
I think that's a Q. I think that's such an. Wait a minute. Why would there be a purpley blue? It's so obviously a colour though. Am I being stupid here? That's so obviously a colour. I'm gonna have colour.
Monarch.
Monarch is a Q.
Conquer.
Conquer's a Q.
And Power Shot.
And Power Shot is made up. So what does that leave me? So Sapphire's a colour. Power Shot's made up. Honey Beam is
So Devil Fire you said was
a colour.
Colour. Yeah. Honey Beam you said I made up.
Yeah. That sounds wrong.
Maroon Cream you said.
Well, that has to be now. What's the option left for that one?
Can't remember.
You wrote them all down, haven't you?
Made up. Oh, I was supposed to write you, yeah.
I actually let Dan do a feature for once. I let him. One of us has radio experience, has done features for years, and one of us is doing this on the fucking spot. Who do you think is? Who do you think
wrote on the back of a piece of an envelope?
A fag packet.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna tell you. Sapphire is
colour.
No, a Q.
I chucked myself out of that.
It's the BCE Mark Selby Q.
Oh, no wonder I hated it.
Yeah. Devil Fire, I made up.
Okay.
Monarch is a Dulux colour. It's a dark red.
Mm-hmm.
Power Shot, I made up.
Must be made up. Yeah, got that one at least.
Now, Conquer.
Yeah, I said that was a Q, and I said the other Honey Beam was made up or something. So that depends if I get 3 or 2 score here.
Conquer is a Dulux colour.
Oh, Honey Beam's the Q.
No, Honey Beam is a
made up.
No, it's a Dulux colour.
How many colours are there? There's 3 colours here. There's only meant to be 2.
There was only meant to be 2.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Maroon Cream is the BCE Ronnie O'Sullivan Q.
You absolute pleb.
Never mind, it was still fun.
No, it was fun. Do that again next time. Really good game, but just
Q, Hugh, or new. Yeah, that was a mistake.
Oh, no. Is that going to be no? But you're saying it like a Scottish person. Oh,
no.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Right. Now, not to go mentally game heavy here.
Yeah.
Have you got, before I do mine, have you got anything else on?
Do you know how much the winner will get in prize money?
The winner will get $250,000.
Correct.
But prize money is much more because the world champs is 500.
Shared pot.
500 for
1.2 mil.
Whew. Very nice. So how much have they got at the moment? That's what I want. I want to know how much Sam Craig has already bagged himself.
Yeah, good question.
That would be interesting. Before we go to that, actually, before we go game mental, I did want to quickly do world rankings. I'm going to name the top 16. You're going to go, ooh, if anything just feels a bit weird. You ready?
Okay.
Here we go. Ronnie, I'm going to go in, descending order. Ronnie, Robertson.
Ooh.
Trump,
Never
Robertson?
feel like he should be at the top.
I know he was so good last year. Trump should be ahead of him, but he was so good last year. But anyway, Ronnie, Robertson, Trump, Selby, Hon, Jiggins, Mark Williams.
To the others.
Mark Williams.
Yeah.
Karen Wilson. So for me, that feels fine.
Yeah.
Now 8, Zhao Ying Tong.
Yeah.
Mark Allen. Top tenner.
Yeah.
Barry Hawkins.
Where's he been?
He was a touch high, but he's a good player.
Yeah.
He feels a touch high. He's like a top 16 guy. Then Luca Brissell. Obviously, he had a good year last year, but, it's not great. Jack Wazowski.
Okay, again, sort of new on the block.
Sean Murphy. Now, he should be much higher.
He should be swapped with Barry.
Yeah, or even Zhao or something.
Yeah.
Then we've got Yang Bingtao. The guy that won the UK last year, I think. Beat Hon.
He did.
Bingham. Ryan Day. Boring. I'm sort of missing the days when we would have your Ali Carters,
Yeah.
Your Dings, your Stephen Maguires.
The Ding's not even in top 16.
Ding's been dropping. No, Marco,
Yeah.
obviously. Marco's been off the circuit. But you know what I mean?
But big in Japan.
Big in
Alphaville.
Japan. Alphaville, whatever they're called.
Yeah. In Hong Kong. Well, China.
Oh, right, Hong Kong Masters. Oh God, don't start that political debate. So yeah, do you know what I mean? We're missing the old bit of the old guard. They're starting to drop away. Anthony
They are,
McGill's
but
there hanging
but
on
then
fucking bad farts.
lewd. Turn it down again.
Point.
Yeah, but then the top 10 are so strong. Well, top 8 so strong. Didn't feel like they're going anywhere for a while.
Dan, we're moving on to a new feature called Framed. No, not bad, right? So this is where I'm going to read a segment from a snooker player's personal life. You've got to tell me who the snooker player is.
Love
You've
it.
got to wait until I've finished.
Okay.
Here we go. Blank moved to Rotherham during the 2004 season to be with his fiancée, Claire, whom he married in July 2005. Blank's wife filed for divorce in 2009 on the grounds of infidelity after the People newspaper published an expose revealing he had spent the night with an escort girl, specifies girl, but wait for this bit. This might give you a clue who it could be. Had spent the night with an escort he had met at a religious youth group. Blank's then manager, Branch Parker, issued a statement confirming that Blank had slept with the woman, but denied what? Issued a statement confirming that Blank had slept with the woman, but denied he had been unfaithful, stating Murphy did not have sex with her. So did somebody explain sex ed?
You're just giving it away.
That's Murphy.
Yeah. Murphy.
You know, he's Christian, isn't he? You know, but wouldn't melt. Altar boy. He was definitely an altar boy.
Yeah, I know, but I wouldn't have put him down for having an affair with a choir girl.
Where'd you get that from? She was an escort.
Sorry.
And he didn't have an affair. He slept with her, but he did not have sex with her. He just fondled. So yeah, so that's a new game. That's Framed. Do you think that's got legs?
Yeah, definitely. So does mine, but just if I get it right. I just think I got a bit carried away with Honeybee.
Yours definitely does. Next time, keep it to 3 and it'll work. And as always, I think it works very well when we have these production meetings within the podcast itself. Dan, let's move on finally then. You just talk a little bit about the world champs, and then we're going to talk about who do you think is going to win it.
Okay. Well, it's been a hot season, and
you've literally got to fill for like 30 seconds.
30 seconds. What I was going to talk about is Ronnie O'Sullivan and Sean Murphy going back at each other about this little sort of conduct on the table. Mark Allen, obviously, who you mentioned, he's sort of cropping up into this debate constantly.
Little terrier.
Yeah. Pistol whipping. Just how I think it's quite interesting how we are getting into the top class players are almost having to defend their longevity at the top by taking swipes at the lower, sort of lower down the rankings. It almost seems like, and them kind of kicking back and saying, well, your attitude stinks. And them sort of saying, well, it's not really about my attitude. I'm not really criticizing the attitude. I'm criticizing your attack and your drive and your wanting to beat them, because there's in no other sport would you have such longevity at the top.
That's definitely something I've noticed this week, where I just had moments where I've been watching snooker for so long, and these players are the same. The top of the rankings are the same. I know I was going to say tennis, and obviously you had the big four in tennis for so many years, but even there you get churn. Like these top of ranking events, these sort of solo sports, you get such churn at the top, and it's mental that the top 16 essentially stay the same.
Yeah.
Is that because also I'm starting to get a bit worried? Is it because no one cares? I was thinking watching this, I thought because I was in Turkey the other week, and I thought if I went into Turkey, and obviously I went into Turkey and if I put the telly on and their national sport was snooker, and we had no affiliation with snooker in England, and I watched it, would I think, wow, this is a cool sport, and I'd definitely do a podcast on this? But it's because it's a inherently English dominated sport. Well, British dominated sport.
British, yeah.
You know, it feels a bit.
Maybe
And
that's why there's such
people, and
drive.
there's empty seats, and it's not even on BBC Two. It's been moved onto Red Button, and
this is what they're kind of talking
Hazel's
about,
not
aren't they?
showing up.
That they're going to China and there's 9,000 people in the audience and they're all clamoring to see them.
Hong Kong, stop causing international issues for us, Dan.
Okay, but the crowds that it's drawing in the East is just phenomenal.
Yes.
Compared to, like you say, a 300-seater stadium or Milton Keynes,
Mm-hmm. Well, sorry, I sniggered then because I just realized this is like our 5th episode now, and we've almost managed to get through the whole episode without having some debatable things said about the Chinese people. So I just I got a bit scared when you said the East, and I thought, what's coming here?
Draw attention to it. Okay,
man and a bunch of mirrors.
Oh dear. Right, so
silly joke about mirrors.
Yeah, in the East.
So Dan, we'll be back next week to cover the final.
We will.
It'd be nice if we could do one midweek.
Yeah.
Nice if we could do one after the semi-final, which would be good. These quarterfinals seem a bit of a letdown. It's always nice when you have upsets, but when you have someone like Sam Craigie, Tom Ford in the quarters, I might just be mean. You want top
Let's
end.
wait and see. Let's wait and see.
Very true. Said like the diplomat that you are, now restoring Hong Kong and China.
Yeah.
Dan, thanks so much.
Thank you, Luke.
We'll be back next week to discuss the final, of which Ronnie will win his 8th UK Championship.
And we may have a guest on this, actually. Somebody who used to play a bit of the old hit the bucket around at university. He's been in contact with us. So let's see if he comes on.
We might just have a 7-time world champion from Scotland on next episode. We'll see you then. Maybe. If it doesn't appear, it's completely down to him and his PR team who are scum.